like I said, as far as tonight's topic being self care, I want to put this as tonight's motto. All right, this right above me is going to be tonight's motto. So tonight's motto is we own all of our time. We own all of our time. Music and meditation, you lurk away. Appreciate you being here. And I say that because a lot of times the excuse we tell ourselves or the excuse we tell others is we don't have time or we don't have the time. We don't have enough time. Or I'm not sure where my time goes. Or I'm not sure if I can make the time. We own all of our time. We totally and completely choose every day what it is we want to do. Let me say that again. We choose every day what it is we want to do. And now, that could be in terms of self care. You chose to tune in tonight. You chose to tune in and listen and vibe out and share your insight and your input as well. You chose this. You could have chosen to take a nap. You could have chosen to take a shower, a bath. You could have chosen to play video games. But just like your daily schedule, your everyday lives, you choose everything that you do throughout your day, throughout your week. Whether it's going to work, running your errands, abiding by your schedules, whatever they may be, those are all choices that you make. And whether you're choosing to do that because you're chasing money, chasing a dream, chasing whatever it may be, those are all your choices. And why I say that is because, again, that gives you the power over your time rather than saying you are being controlled or led certain ways. You are in control. You have the power and you have the choice of what it is you do with your time. We own all of our time because at any given moment, well, this way, at any given moment, you have two options. You can step forward into your growth, write that book that you've always wanted to write, start that job or try that new career that you've always wanted to try or get into. Oh, let me move this up actually. There we go. Or you can step back into safety and stay right there in the position that you're in life, whether it's comfortable, whether it's safe, it's secure. Nothing happens there. Nothing of great significance. Sure, you may know some of the outcomes or may have a couple surprises along the way, but that's your safety zone. That's your comfort zone. That's a step back. Nothing grows there. At any given moment, you have two options. Step forward into your growth or step back into your safety. And you're probably saying, all right, well, what's this? What's this all about choosing and taking steps forward and back? What does that have to do with self-care? Well, again, it comes down to choices. A lot of people think self-care is about sacrifice or commitment. It is, but it's also about discipline. It's also giving yourself the discipline to say, I deserve this. And choosing to say no. Choosing to say yes. I'll get into that more. How you guys feeling out there? Everybody good? One of my personal mantras is, if I'm too comfortable, I'm not learning. Yeah, I like that. I like that one. Definitely. If I'm too comfortable, I'm not learning. But sometimes with that comfort too, and I'm not saying that's wrong at all, but sometimes with that comfortable, or sometimes with that comfort, it's good to sit back and observe. Sometimes with that learning comes observation, just reading the room, as they say. And as you read the room, if you're feeling a little too comfortable, a little too, something feels off, yes, get up off that couch. Make that move. And yes, Indie Bronx, Romeo has a sword. He's our newest mod on the block. Yes. How many of y'all lurking out there? We got a bunch of lurkers today. What's going on? Everybody good? Just checking on some things. Some folks were messaging me saying they're running a little late. That's okay. Hey, DJ Summersoft, how you doing? Lurking and cooking. Well, as the sound of my voice is here, just listen in and enjoy your meal. Jay Roach just got done cooking. You're lurking. Just listen in. Everybody's lurking and cooking. I love it. So the sound of my voice is what you hear, and I'm glad. Hopefully I can motivate you. Hopefully I can inspire you, and hopefully I can offer some insight here as, again, we're discussing self-care. Fine Tuner, thank you so much for the suggestion on this topic tonight. Fine Tuner, folks. Her and I talk a lot on Instagram as well. One of the dopest people. One of the realest people, and I appreciate her. And yeah, I was brainstorming earlier, and I was like, I need a topic for tonight. And she was just telling me about her daily routine and things she was doing throughout her day. And I was just like, bam, there it is. We're going to do that. Marge, what's up? What's good? Hey, Marge. So, self-care it is. And like I said, this is one of the FAQs that I get a lot from people. Not just from a therapist perspective, but just from an individual perspective. Like, how do I make time for myself? How do I start to prioritize or do the things that maybe I want to do and start doing less of those things that I'm probably called or led to do, whether it's responsibilities with kids, or if you're a parent, if you have your kid duties, as they say, or your job, things where you're not able to prioritize time for yourself. Again, this is our motto for the night. We're going to leave this here all night. We own all of our time. It's a powerful statement in that, again, we choose day in and day out what we want to do. So again, if you want to play video games, you play video games. If you want to tune into Mental Health Monday, you tune into Mental Health Monday. You chose that. So it also, what it does is allows you the choice and the freedom of making those decisions, but also hold you accountable for why you do it. And the reason I say that is because that's the first question you should be asking yourself when you're doing what you're doing. Why am I doing this? Whether it's a job, whether it's the type of crowd you're hanging with, the things you're doing in your social life, or whatever the case may be, why am I doing this? Why am I running myself 10, 12, 14-hour days and not really reaping the benefits, or feeling worn down, feeling tired after that? Why am I doing this? That's the first question we stop and ask ourselves. Why am I doing this? I understand now I own all of my time. So why am I doing this? Why am I doing this, and how am I occupying that time that I'm using? Oh, my screen went away. When you guys stop to think of a question like that, why am I doing this? What comes to mind? As far as the your everyday life, or maybe the things that you're saying, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep going to this job? Why do I keep up with this relationship? Why do I keep having these thoughts, having these doubts, or self-sabotaging thoughts even? Why am I doing this? Have you ever questioned that? Romeo says best way. Oh, sorry there. Romeo says best way for me is to know if I'm passionate about something is taking people out of the equation. Do I still love this? Do I still want to do this? People are a source of external validation that can taint my decisions. Ooh, interesting. Interesting, Romeo. Yeah, because normally, like I say, when asking that question, why am I doing this? It's usually coming from within, internal first. But when you factor in the external, the people around you, or the reasons why you do it, yeah, that's definitely something that falls in. But also go internally. Dre says absolutely. Happy Bindi, because we need more room for joy. Because everyone is their worst critic. Yes, very true. And Clarence says hello back, Dre. Interesting. Happy Bindi, because we need more room for joy. Well, in creating that joy, again, coming back to how you own your time, what is it that you're doing that's creating that room for joy? Is it working more hours in order to get more money, in order to take a certain trip? Is it, does it come back to money? Does it come back to whatever it is? Now, again, If it comes back to money, that comes back to like Romeo was saying in terms of people, because I factor money in with people. Those are external factors. Dre says because of fear. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Definitely. Well, yeah. And it comes back to our quote here tonight. It's stepping into your growth or stepping back into safety. We stay where we are. We stay comfortable because we're afraid of advancing. We're afraid of failing. We're afraid of falling. We're afraid of trying because what others might say, think, or feel. Summersoft, sometimes the conflict is I'm good at this versus I love this. Is that for you personally, you're saying? The conflict is I'm good at this versus I love this? Because that's an interesting one as well, because being good at something could grow into a love, but being in love with something could actually turn sour. Interesting. Yeah. I'm good at this versus I love this. I'm good at this. Does that pique your curiosity? And I love this. Does that drive your motivation? Tell me more. Tell me more about that one. I love that. Jay Roach, if it's scary when you think about trying it, then it means then it's time to take the chance and make it happen. Yes, and if it's something, that's another thing too. If it's something that's resonating with you, if you continue to see it, visualize it, or even dream it, then yes, that's something telling you inside, take that chance. Whether it's taking a new class or just looking at something on YouTube to learn something more about it, to find more insight, take those steps, the necessary steps. Dre, sometimes we are afraid that we might take a chance with something and it can go horribly wrong. Yes, but if you're doing things with the thought that they can go wrong, you're never going to do those things. That's part of the fear. If you're going into something with already having that disaster mindset or already setting yourself up for the potential of failure, chances are you're not going to take that step. Summersoft, I think we gain confidence and purpose when we feel like we are good at something. Yes. And that also speaks to a topic we had before, because once you step into something, you learn a little more about it, you gain a little more insight, you gain more confidence. Yeah, and the momentum continues to go. But also understanding that anything you start, anything you venture out into as brand new, you're going to suck at it. And we've talked about that before. Right, Romeo? Yes. Doesn't mean it fulfills. It doesn't mean it fulfills your dreams. That's where we want to land. Right. But it's also, as the old saying goes, throwing shit at the wall. And I'll say that here. You're throwing stuff out there just to see what sticks, just to see what works, just to see what you like. But also keep in mind and giving yourself not only the awareness, but the confidence to fail. I'll say that again. The confidence to fail. Now, normally with confidence, we go into something saying, hey, I'm good at this. Hey, I can handle this. I'm ready for this. But having the confidence to fail, knowing that if and when you have that hiccup, or if and when things don't go according to plan, you're okay with picking up the pieces. You're okay with adjusting or rolling with the punches, as they say. Having that confidence to say, this isn't the end all be all. I'm trying. I'm making the effort. And in turn, that's something you like or something you were curious about can grow to be a love, can grow to be a passion, can grow to be a desire, something that you really, really yearn for and want to do more of. Romeo, fulfillment for me comes from trying something you aren't necessarily good at, but are curious about. Yes, curiosity. Run with that. When I accomplish things, I feel fulfilled. And from there, I can decide whether or not it's something I want to continue doing and or pursuing. Dre, to Summersoft's point, it's like someone who is good with calculations and figures. Doesn't mean that they should be an accountant for a living, especially when they don't love it. Yeah, and that comes back to work, external. That's the external part. If that's something you're doing because there's a kickback or a bonus for it in terms of doing the work, you do the work. I like doing numbers. Hey, there's money that comes with that. There's incentive. But it's also to say, it can be mundane. It can be tedious. I get that. And it's definitely a great point. Definitely a great point, yeah. And Amra, I see that you came in. How you doing? Cool DJ Frank, what's good, brother? So with self-care, I want to ask you guys that before I get into the video and the explanation as far as what we're going to go into, because there's 8 steps in this video that I'm going to share. Again, ask yourselves, why am I not making the time for things that I want to do? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I feel like I don't have enough time? Or why am I not making the time for myself? Again, kids, job, significant other, whatever the case may be. What is it externally that is keeping you from doing the things that you want to do or would have liked to have done internally? We've talked about the fear. We talked about the confidence. We talked about the motivation as far as the likes and the loves. But what is it in you? Is it past experiences? Is it guilt? Romeo, jack of all trades. People used to give me crap about not focusing on one thing. I like and am good at lots of things, mostly because I'm curious at heart. And yet, Romeo, you and I are in the same boat in that, like, that jack of all trades, master of none, but more reliable than a master of one. I mean, I love the fact that I love trying things. I love going after things. Miss Prestigious with the Solar Raid. I love going after things, trying things, and building and peaking on my curiosities. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily great at them. But again, I think, Dre, we talked about this on my post a little ways back. I wouldn't send a dentist to do my back surgery. In that one person who's great at one thing can only give you perspective or professionalism in that one thing. Same way with the mental health discussions we have. Would you go to a mental health professional or would you go to someone who's not in the field? You see what I'm saying? And it's a number of things as well, like peeking into those things. Thanks, Miss Prestigious. Good evening to you. And that, again, that comes back to piquing the curiosities. So if you guys are ripe and ready, let me give you guys the video, and I'm going to pause it throughout. I'm going to pause it so we can go over the steps. So we have here the 8 steps. I'm getting backwards with the video here. Lakita says, I'm great at a couple things, good at several, but modest at best at others. And that's a great mindset and attitude to have too, Lakita, in that recognizing what you're great at, what you're good at, but modest at best at others. And it's also saying, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with telling somebody, you know what, that's not my area of expertise, or I don't feel comfortable sharing insight or sharing advice on that if that's what they're asking for. That's always a great and honest way of approaching something, because people will respect you more by saying, you know what, I thought you were the person for this, but I appreciate your honesty. They'll seek it elsewhere. So that's a great way of presenting it. I appreciate that. So with the 8 steps in self-care that are going to come up in this video, number 1, first and foremost, is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. It's okay that you didn't say no. It's okay that you gave in again, decided to work overtime. Missed out on this, missed out on that. It's okay. But be able to forgive yourself and recognize that, I need to make a change here. Something needs to be fixed. That's where number 2 comes in. Being mindful. Being mindful of how and why you're doing what you're doing. If I decide to work 50, 60 hours a week, here's why. Florida Stan, allow and forgive yourself to be wrong. Yeah. Well, I mean, it comes back to your self-care. I'll get into the video. Again, being mindful, being present. Why am I doing this? Why did I choose to do this? Why am I allowing this to be? Why is this my norm? Be mindful. Number 3, act on what you need. If you need time for yourself, act on it. If you need to speak up, act on it. If you need to step away from something, act on it. Act on what you need. As the saying goes, closed mouths don't get fed. And by acting on it, speaking out, that comes to number 4, setting boundaries, especially in the workplace. Those of us who, with the transition, remember, a lot of us were working from home or transitioning from jobs. Now people I see are transitioning back into the office, and they're going back into work, and they're being asked to do things that maybe they weren't used to doing for the past few years. So setting those boundaries. Hey, I'm not available on weekends. Hey, I'm not available at this time. Hey, my phone is off after 5 p.m. And happy Bindi, yes, setting those boundaries will help you to focus on making time to do the things that fulfill me. Because allowing to set those boundaries, you're saying no to things and also saying yes to the things that you want to ultimately do. And number 5, that is how you protect yourself. Protecting your health, protecting your mental health, physical health, emotional, spiritual health, protecting yourself, setting those boundaries, not letting in any of those pusher-overs, not letting in any of those people who try to manipulate or persuade you or take too much of your time, protecting yourself. Yes, we do, Dre, and we will. All good, Jamie Hart. Good evening, sis. How you doing? Just in case. Thanks for the disclaimer, Dre. Number 6. This is me personally right here. Number 6. Live intentionally. All right. I'm gonna bleep myself for in case any kids are listening in later on. But number 6. Live intentionally. If it doesn't scream F yes, okay, hell yes. If it doesn't scream hell yes, it's a no. If someone presents an offer to you, maybe to go out on the weekend or do something socially or whatever the case may be, if something is presented to you and you think about it, process it, ask yourself over, once, twice, maybe 3 times, if it does not scream hell yes to you, it's a no. And if it does scream hell yes, do it with intention. Do it with purpose. Do it with all the curiosity and love that you have for yourself. Do those things. F them kids. That's why I laughed, Trey. Nice. And by living intentionally, number 7, you are showing up for yourself. You are showing up for yourself because, like we said with self-care, putting yourself first is not selfish. You are not being selfish. You are putting yourself first. You are understanding and recognizing that people are asking you to be a part of their lives, be a part of their plans. It's not that you're disrespecting them. It's not that you're pushing them away. You're just doing what's best for you. You're showing up for yourself first and foremost. Music and meditation. Do what you really wanted to do, how you want to spend your time. Yes, yes, and yes. And finally, practicing self-care. Whether, again, it's spoiling yourself, taking yourself out on a date, going to the movies, taking a bath, taking a lunch break by yourself. Some people say, I can't do things by myself. Start small. Take a lunch break by yourself. Take time every morning. Practice gratitude, mindfulness, exercise. There's a number of things in there. So with that list, I'm going to go into the doctor. Yes. Checking on those of us over 35, 40 years old. Yes, do that. So those of us here, I'm going to leave these 8 things up, but I'm going to share the video with you guys. And of course, you guys know me. I like to use Psych2Go videos because it's helpful with not only adults, but younger kids, and anybody can relate to it. And the visuals help as well. So check out your screens. It's a 5-minute video, and we will go into these more in detail on the flip side. Hang on a second.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to another video. Do you know what self-love is? It's more than changing your hair, getting a new wardrobe, or attempting to redefine yourself. Self-love is gaining an appreciation for yourself through the physical, emotional, and spiritual support you provide yourself with. It's not a fixed state, but can grow over time through actions that lead to maturity. Establishing self-love can be a long journey, but it's a vital step to improving your mental health and overall happiness. So, here are a few tips that may help you along the way. Number 1, forgive yourself. Are you incredibly tough on yourself? Sometimes when you're struggling for perfection, you end up overlooking the fact that you're only human. Although you may tell yourself that you're just holding yourself accountable, too much self-deprecation can be harmful to your mental health. Instead, learning to forgive yourself for the mistakes you make and treating them as opportunities to grow is a step towards practicing self-love. Number 2.
All right, now that one there, that's what I wanted to get into first and foremost. Whoops, went the wrong way here. Being able to forgive yourself. It comes back to, I think, Summersoft, you had said about, do I love this or do I like this? And a lot of times people love doing things because they're good at it. They love doing things because it comes easy to them. They love doing things because it was passed down from generation to generation. They're conditioned to love it. Number of reasons why people love things. Why they don't like things too much, or maybe are iffy about it, is because they're hard on themselves. They don't give themselves enough credit to say, do I deserve this? Or can I be good at this? So being able to forgive yourself, and like I said, having the confidence to fail is very important, because that like can very easily turn to love if we allow ourselves to understand we're not great at anything in the beginning. Miss Prestigious, my pleasure. Definitely let me know about that. I want to know about that. Message me if you can when we finish up. So being hard on yourself can be detrimental. I wanted to do a topic on self-sabotage. I'll probably save that for another time. But a lot of people tend to do that. They may have a great thought or idea and then psych themselves out, or they're too hard on themselves thinking they're not good enough, and they just don't even start, or they let other people get in their heads. And that can be a pattern. So forgiving yourself is very, very vital to also loving yourself. What you got there, Romeo? Don't get me wrong. I know I'm good enough, but I always know I could be better. Most others just candy coat things, but I know what I personally need to improve. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And being open to receiving, what it is you need, and fixing those things as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's number one. Let's get into number two, being mindful.
Be mindful. Are the goals you set for yourself really what you want, or are they pushed onto you by society? Being introspective or mindful can give you a sense of clarity into who you are, how you think, and what you want. It arms you with self-knowledge that you can use to move forward. Some ways to practice mindfulness include keeping a journal, meditating, or just taking some time to self-reflect. Number 3.
Like I said, I'm going to stop these between each one. So how many of you do that? How many of you do keep a journal? How many of you do practice mindfulness or meditation? How many of you are aware of what it is you're doing and why? I know that's something I've been practicing myself. I just got myself a new journal. Since I got back from Mexico on my retreat, I'm practicing gratitude, which is something that I used to do, but not as vocally. And when I say vocally, I'm taking voice notes in my phone. And I write in the Notes app as well. Just little challenges for myself, little things that come into feelings that come into my mind. And I just write them down. It's a good way for me to process and be mindful as far as what's going on with me. Marge says she journals. I know you do, Marge. Nice, Miss Prestigious. Yeah, you have multiple journals as well. And yes, situation with mom as well. Meditation has helped me manage stress lately. Sporadically, okay. I've always wrote my thoughts down. That's easy for me. Sticking to my goals are hard. That's the discipline part, Michelle. We talked about that before. Jay Roach, I tried a journal and it didn't work for me. Writing words of affirmation each day helped more than anything. Nice. And that's helpful too, having words of affirmation or even videos of affirmation as far as those type of inspirational messages, but also acting on them is just as helpful. So we can discuss that more too, Jay Roach, and we will. Jamie Art, sometimes I push myself so hard that I reach my limit. I have to lower my strictness with myself. Yes, don't be so hard on yourselves. Practice gratitude and lose the attitude. And I can hear that in Indy Bronx's voice too, in her accent. What accent? I can hear her Indy Bronx saying that in her New York accent. Practice gratitude and lose the attitude. Music and meditation. I do some affirmations and gratitude. Whatever comes to me, or read inspo from others. I say out loud, not into journaling. And yeah, everybody has their own thing. It works for you. That's a great thing. If these tools work for you, It's again a great way to ground yourself, to practice mindfulness and give yourself that great self-awareness as far as how your day is going or going to go. Dre used to journal. Mm-hmm. Meditation. Somersault. Meditation doesn't work too well for me, but I started stretching instead. It forces me to stay in my body. And somersault, yeah. For some reason, especially with DJs that I've talked to, when they say, and I'm saying this in quotes, meditation doesn't work, it's because they go, I can't turn my brain off. And that's not how meditation works, in that you can't just turn off your thoughts. You can't just like turn all of that off. It's allowing it all. Meditation is allowing yourself to let all of those thoughts come and go and let it all flow through. And again, choosing what you want to keep in there. So if you're the type who's trying to meditate and you're getting distracted by negative thoughts or distracting thoughts, whatever the case may be, choose. Finding positive affirmations, finding keywords that may say, no, not right now. No. Let me switch gears, or allow those thoughts to come, let them subside, and then wait for the energy that you want and go with that. Miss Prestigious, I was just going to say, the Calm app, that's beautiful. I love it. You guys, we're always like right here. We're always here, same page. The Calm app is a great app, and I was going to suggest there's a number of apps you can get on your iPhone or Android. The Breathe app, BREETHE. Movement meditation is good as well, and with mantras, yeah. Yeah, so again, there's a number of things that you can do to practice mindfulness, and the key word is practice. These are practices. These are things you can try daily, whether it's morning, noon, or night, whenever you choose to do them, but they're practices. You're never going to perfect any of those things because you'll never have all of these things figured out. The media definition of self-care and mediation F's us up. Mediation? Or meditation, I'm sorry. Yeah, and also, like the thing said in terms of being mindful, are you doing the things that you want to do? Are you doing the things that society has led you to want to do? Peer pressures, going down avenues that you aren't really ready for or didn't want to do, but because somebody else had suggested or somebody else is doing it, you feel you have to follow suit or do what they're doing. So again, be mindful. After you journal, after you meditate, after you do whatever it is you do, are you aware of why you're doing it? Why you're going about your day and setting your intentions, doing those things? So that's number 2. Now that we recognize that we do some things, let's go to number 3. Act on what you need.
3. Act on what you need. Do you know what gives you energy? What makes you happy? Perhaps you're feeling overwhelmed with needing to spend so much time with your friends or colleagues, but feel bad for wanting to step away. Choosing to go anyways may end up draining your energy and leaving you exhausted. That's why it's so important to identify the things that make you feel better versus the things that make you feel worse. Knowing what you need and acting on those needs is a form of self-love, and it can go a long way for your mental and emotional well-being. Which brings us to number 4.
I like how she segues right into number 4. But before we get into number 4, act on what you need. Again, why is it I'm doing what I'm doing? What is it that I need? Whether it's, again, any form of self-care or self-love. So here's what I want you guys to do. Take a moment. I'll give you some time. I want you to list 3 things in the chat. And because this is a good thing for all of us, I want you to list 3 things in the chat that you do for yourself. It could be something you do daily. It could be something you do that's unique and only for you. It could be something that was taught to you and you carry it with you. I want you to list 3 things in the chat that you do for yourself. Pampering yourself. It's just a way of calming or soothing yourself. What are 3 things you do for yourself? List them in the chat, if you could, please. Yeah, Dre, I'm not going to get into those folks in the self-care community, but we could. People who say you can have it all just really want to have all your money. I'm going to leave that there. But again, folks, list 3 things that you do for yourself that are pleasing to you, or that you do on the regular or daily or weekly. Music and meditation, stretches, listen to mantras, enjoy my herbal teas. I almost said herbal. Stretching, okay, listening to mantras and enjoying my herbal teas. Nice, nice. Are these daily, music and meditation, are those things you do daily? Miss Restitas. Michelle, self-encourage, talk myself out of self-doubt, and pray. Nice, nice. A lot of talking there, a lot of talking to self, which is good. A lot of self-affirmations. Most days are every other day. Okay, music and meditation. Jay Roach, my 3 things are working on my artwork, play video games, take walks, and listen to lo-fi music. Nice, nice. What's up, Coach? How you doing? Working on my artwork, play video games, and take walks and listen to music. See, Jay Roach, and I love that too because you said it. Working on my artwork, 3 things that you do for yourself. Jamie Art, painting, talk to yourself. Michelle. So wait, Michelle, if you talk to your self-encourage and talk yourself out of self-doubt, but then you're your own worst enemy, are these things counterproductive? BM Willis, we're on number 3. I'm asking folks, what are 3 things that they can list in the chat that they do for themselves? Whether it's something to soothe yourself or to calm yourself. 3 things that you do, whether it's on the daily, weekly, things that were taught to you that you may now do in your everyday lives. 3 things that you do to soothe yourself, calm yourself. Miss Prestigious, instrumental music, singing, and traveling. Oh, man. It's a shame it's only a chat. We need to hear Miss Prestigious sing. Indie Bronx, daily prayer, meditation, get mani-pedis. Nice, nice. I love that some of you, you're listing some of the external things as well, going out and doing things. I love that. Jamie Art, before going to sleep, I congratulate myself for the good things and the bad things. I think about how to improve. That's good. Self-reflection and gratitude. Nice, Jamie Art. I like that. Really like that. Proud of you for that one. Romeo, scratching. I know you do. Reading or looking up tutorials. Self-growth and cleaning. No, that's not weird at all. That's a great therapy tool. Number 1, talk it out. Tandy, okay. Overthinking and talking myself out of something. Yeah, and Michelle, yeah. Those are things like that. Overthinking, less thinking and more feeling, especially here in this room. Less thinking, more feeling. Go with the feel. Great shares, everyone. Yes, thank you for that. Music and meditation. Tandy says listen to music is number 2. Marge likes cleaning. Dre, listening to music, documentaries on YouTube, go through records, and DJ. Laugh and chat with friends. And Tandy says alone time, number 3. Yeah, I love this. I love this, guys. Work out, get my nails done, and listen to the Calm app. Another one, BN Willis, another one with the Calm app. I love it. Miss Prestigious. Nice. Getting outside, nature. Yeah, nature as well. And so, okay, so now just listing those things, I want you to recognize how you feel. Marge, playing with makeup, organized cleaning, getting my boba, the egg drink, egg yolk. I want you to recognize just by putting these in the chat, right? Just by listing these things or even thinking about these things when you were writing them down, how did that make you feel? Did you feel motivated? Did you feel inspired? Did you feel excited to maybe when you're about to do these things? Yeah, Miss Prestigious. A few folks have that comment. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. So again, acting on what you need, but making sure you're feeling those things. This is all part of self-awareness. If you're feeling the urge to clean, the urge to listen to the Calm app, the urge to listen to music, the urge to walk in nature, the urge to paint or draw or write, or practice meditation, whatever it is, whatever that urge is, going with the feeling and continuing on that, because that is a good way of getting out of your own way and also recognizing how you're using your time. Because again, remember, we own all of our time. We choose exactly what it is we want to do. So that was number 3, acting on what you need. Recognizing the things that bring you joy and bring you more motivation and inspiration and doing those things. My office is my sanctuary. Clean space helps me feel clean, if that makes sense. Creative person. Some tell me it's odd since many creatives. Yeah, I was just going to say, Romeo, I'm the exact opposite in that I live in chaos. I mean, I totally understand those who like to clean, but for some reason, I'm good with it. Yes, finding that inner child, finding them things that bring you joy, and not being afraid to do it. So yeah, and that brings us to number 4 in terms of the setting the boundaries, because, excuse me, because if we're able to act on the things we need, not being afraid to do it, and understanding why it is we want to do it, then we can go ahead and set these boundaries. So let's go ahead and dive into that one real quick.
4. Set boundaries. Are there certain behaviors that you're not willing to put up with? The purpose of setting boundaries is not to kick people out of your life, but rather to help you identify what is acceptable or welcomed in your life and what's not. Healthy boundaries help you filter out things that drain your energy, harm you emotionally, physically, or spiritually. A way to set boundaries is by starting with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Figure out what you need to feel loved or accepted, and then work from there. Number 5.
I'm going to rewind that a little bit so you can see the chart. I'll talk over it. So, not sure if any of you guys are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Something you can Google if you'd like. I'm losing you guys here in the chat. Let me see. So, self-actualization comes from the top. Your esteem needs, your belongingness, and your loving needs. Your safety needs, and then your physiological needs. We can go into that in depth. I've discussed it ad nauseum during school, so I'm not really going to go into it. But it's just a way to break down the things you need, why you need them, and why they're important to you. So again, I invite you guys to Google right there, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you'd like to discuss that. Let's go into number 5.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Figure out what you need to feel loved or accepted, and then work from there. Number 5. Protect yourself. What type of people do you surround yourself with? Another way to practice self-love is to protect yourself. This may mean bringing people into your life who will be supportive and who contribute to your emotional, mental, and spiritual health instead of tearing it apart. Getting rid of fake friends or anyone who takes pleasure in your misery is important for your self-esteem and self-confidence. Number 6.
Do we really want to dive into this one? So protecting yourself. I let 4 go past because setting boundaries ties into protecting yourself. As I said, setting boundaries is not removing people from your life. Setting the boundaries is not saying, I don't want you around anymore. It's making more time for you, prioritizing yourself. It's not saying you got to go. It's saying to yourself, I need to stay. I need to be here first. So setting the boundaries is important. Then it also lets you recognize and realize who doesn't respect your boundaries. Again, whether it's coworkers or friends or companions or whoever you have in your life, setting those boundaries and understanding where they stand in your life and how you can prioritize those things. Some good, some bad. It really helps filter. Okay. Which in turn comes into protecting yourself. And protecting yourself is your filter. Once you're able to set those boundaries, protecting yourself is recognizing who is important to you, who is there for you, who is on your team in terms of support, in terms of your resources, in terms of your communication needs, anything in that realm. And also understanding that everything ain't for everybody. Again, protecting yourself could also be the stuff you see on social media. If you find yourself distracted or taking up way too much time and you're on fill in the blank, TikTok or whatever like that, and you're seeing nothing but chaos, nothing but negativity, nothing but drama or gossip, it's time to protect yourself from that stuff. It's time to move on from that stuff. That's a lot of anxiety. Jamie Art, I left a lot of people out of my life when I wanted to take better care of myself. I moved away from a lot of people. I cleaned out. Those people don't fit me anymore. Yeah, and nothing to be sorry about. Unapologetically you. It's not saying that, you wish them ill will or anything like that. It's, you wish yourself well and you want to, grow from there. So, like I said, setting your boundaries is very important. It ties right into protecting yourself. And once you're able to protect yourself and recognize who's there for you, who's important to you, and who you'd like to prioritize going forward, including yourself going first, that brings us, this is my favorite one, number 6, living intentionally. Oh, hang on. What you got, Romeo? Grief does show you, Michelle. Yes, it actually does. Romeo, I have to admit, it's disappointing and can hurt when people you care about most get upset with your boundaries, but the boundaries are there for a reason. And they are. And as long as you're protecting yourself with those boundaries, you'll recognize and you're firm in your beliefs and firm in your morals and your stance, then yeah, there may be some friction, but if you guys are strong enough and the relationship's strong enough, you can definitely communicate and work through those things. Have good people in your life who support and love you, but also challenge you when need to. Yes, Dre. Yes. And not being ultra sensitive or upset to the point where you think their criticism is or their challenges are criticism or judgment or too harsh. Again, that comes back to the protecting yourself part. So number 6, live intentionally. I love this one. Here we go.
Live intentionally. What makes your eyes light up? What inspires you? Sometimes it's easy to just follow a routine in your day-to-day life to the point where you stop giving it much thought. But it's important to live life with intention and to make choices that help you move towards your goals. For example, if you intend to live a peaceful and healthy life, you need to make choices that support that goal. That may include learning how to meditate or starting to change your diet for the better. Number 7.
I absolutely love that one. Absolutely love that one. It's Jamie Art. I have always been afraid of loneliness, but I'm never afraid of loneliness with me. I've learned to take care of myself and love myself. Yes. Love you guys are so honest too. I love you guys are open and vulnerable with each other. I absolutely love that we have this community here. Oh yeah, Miss Prestigious, but I remember you saying that too about your mom, and that's, while it's unfortunate, I mean, you can, if you're able to have that conversation with her and understand that this was for you, I mean, yeah. Yes, DJ Summersoft, what makes your eyes light up? That's kind of like what I was saying when you were listing the things that you need. List the 3 things that you need. How many of your eyes lit up? You know? To some of you, it's a practice you do every day, whether it's cleaning or, again, writing, reading, whatever it is, meditating. But what's that thing that makes your eyes light up? What's that feeling that you have? What is that intention that you have? Whether it's helping others, serving others, playing music, whatever it may be. What's that one thing or things that make your eyes light up? And again, are you doing it? Are you doing it? And if not, why? That's not a question for me. That's a question for you. What is that one thing or things that make your eyes light up? And are you doing it? I hear that, Jamie Art. I do. I hear that. Dre, yeah, because your vibe attracts your tribe. If you're willing to be vulnerable, others around you, especially if you got a good support system, will be as well. They'll respect you more. Aw, nice, Michelle. The moment you live life intentionally for yourself rather than for others, everything in life feels better and is that much sweeter. Living for what truly makes you happy. Who's ready for story time? I just got chills here. So, you guys know I could be, when I'm coaching, and that's helping others, serving others, BM Willis. And it's the natural thing for you. But understand, with coaches, with teachers, educators, even with therapists, it's empaths, really. Understanding that coaching is coaching, teaching is teaching, and we're always going to be natural teachers or natural educators, but understanding that we also have to prioritize and make that time for ourselves, and knowing able when to flip that switch. Wait a minute. Disco Darren, what's good, brother? How are you? Let me see what you said here. A summertime guy. I enjoy going from a ride in my convertible and just listening to some disco. Takes me away from the world for a minute. See, yep. Car ride therapy right there. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. It's been a blessing. In fact, one of my friends came through for me today. See, Dre, there it is. When you can have that vulnerability and shared vulnerability, and then others are willing to reciprocate, it really is a magical thing. It really is. It's energy. Everything we do is energy. Positive, negative, indifferent. It's everything we do is energy. If you go into something with a negative or shitty attitude, chances are you're probably going to have that kind of reflection out of it. Oh, yeah. I hear that, Jamie. So I want to share something with you guys in that this was part of my step away from Twitch as well the first time around. In terms of living intentionally. So for those who know me, well, here on Twitch, those of you who know me, yes, I'm a DJ. Yes, I'm a mental health professional and that I work in a hospital. The majority of my time is spent working in a hospital throughout the day, DJing here on Twitch, DJing on weekends, also acting and modeling. I'm also a barber. I do a lot. And I always say I don't have jobs. I have joys. Until I didn't. Do it up, Darren. Do it up. Until I didn't. I came to the realization, and this happened when I got back from Mexico as well. I just got back about a month ago. I came to the realization that something I loved or thought I loved, and Summersoft, if you're listening, because you mentioned doing what we love, something that I thought I loved, I really don't have the love or drive for it the way I used to. And that's a scary thing. A scary thing for me in that I've sat with this. I've dwelled on it, like as far as just trying to feel it out. You know, is what I'm feeling really what I'm feeling? I've cried over this literally over the weekend. And it comes to DJing. For the first time in my life, I've been a DJ, I want to say a professional in terms of being paid for my services and doing parties and gigs and events for over 25 years. And for the first time, I can't remember ever saying, I don't like doing this. Sure, throw me into an event, throw me into any gig, and I'll make it work. I'll make it happen. Music-wise, personality, energy, doing what I have to do during the allocated time. But I'm numb. I literally did a school dance last weekend. I'm going to give you guys a story to give you the tale of two worlds here. I did a school dance. I'm sorry, three events. I did a school dance, a kids' communion party, which is like kids that are about 12 years old, and a 50th birthday party. So those of you as DJs, you know that's a wide variety of music. A school dance is going to be, you know, all of your newer stuff, some line dances and older stuff, but for the most part, the newer current stuff, TikTok music, blah, blah, blah. A communion party will differ between adults and kids and playing some games and engagement. And then a 50th birthday party. Music from the 80s and 90s, you know, based on the demographic. Now, me personally, the 50th birthday party, I thought that would be no problem. That's right up my alley music-wise. I'm sure they all, you know, will have a great time. And yeah. But after all three events, I literally felt the same thing. And that was nothing. I felt numb. So numb to the point that normally after an event, I'm packing my stuff up and getting ready to get out of there. And, you know, I have my whole, you know, everybody has like their own system and how they break their speakers down and do all these things and get everything lined up and ready and out the door. I literally took my time. Like I was in no hurry. Like I had like no rhyme or reason. I wasn't really in a rush at all. Oh, Darren, don't do that. And it's put me in a weird space. It was one of them things, and I'm sure those of you who are DJs or those of you who even had a hard day at work, you've driven home with no music. Like you've driven home in silence. Have no concept of what time it is or what's going on. And I just literally sat there and I said to myself, the same way I asked you guys in the beginning, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? And the answer I gave myself is it's because it's all I've known. Like for 25 years, it's all I've known. And yes, again, being a barber, working in mental health for the past 7 years, acting as well. Like these are things that are newfound to me. Like these are new in my journey. But DJing, like that's really all I've known in terms of my bread and butter, the things that I could always fall back on, the things that I could always say, like, when all else fails, or if it fails, I can always do that. And then it got me to thinking, am I even living intentionally? Am I even living within my purpose? Hang on, let me catch up what you guys are saying here. Dre, I even wonder sometimes if I should stop. Universe always brings me back. Dre, that's always been it for me as well. I've always questioned, okay, maybe it's time to transition or take less events or this and that, but it's always brought me back. Except now. Romeo from 92 to 2008, started a career in art design, missed it, realized I didn't need it. I could still do it and enjoy it, but I would do it for myself. Yeah. And I mean, the same thing here with Twitch. Like, DJing here on Twitch is great. I'll be honest, it does not give me the same, energy than being in front of a live crowd. And I think any DJ on here will tell you that live audience or the energy you feel from the interaction that way. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing you guys in the chat and the interactions we have here and all of the stuff we do in terms of creativity and laughing and all of that stuff. I love all of that. Yeah, Romeo, and that too. Yeah, like I literally drove home, realized all the stuff I packed up, setting up, tearing down, and I had a deep conversation with myself, and I said, what am I doing? What am I doing? And again, this past weekend, I had a prom on Thursday and a family party on Saturday. And the same thing occurred. Because last week I went, all right, well, let me get through my schedule and let me just see if it's, just something I'm going through. I felt the same thing this week. I felt the same exact thing this week. However, Michelle, what's that? Let me see, Michelle. I went through such deep depression, losing that job, and had to go back to what I stopped loving and sacrifice. I complained because nursing is all I knew. Yes, see? Still haven't graduated. Best, most wonderful career. Yes. Okay. Started applying. Let it speak to you, Michelle. Yes. Disco Darren, I've sat in my driveway many a day and said it's going to be something better than this. Although I have a great job, I'm almost ready to retire. I think of my family, home toys that I have because, and that's gratitude. That's showing the gratitude. Misty Mountain, how you doing? All the way from Albuquerque. That's showing the gratitude. And I've done that. DJing has offered me and afforded me traveling around the country, meeting so many people, giving me so many opportunities. And I'm grateful for all of that. I can't say that, I take any of that for granted or I take any of that, I don't short sight any of that. But here's where number 6 really comes into play. Here's where living intentionally, and I probably went over a little bit about this. Here's where living intentionally really comes into play. Check this out. I have a coach, and every Wednesday I sit with my coach for an hour, and I suggest this to anybody who's trying to master or do something new or build on something. Get a coach. And if you need a coach, we can talk. But I have a coach, and we were talking about feeling and not thinking, doing more of the things that feel good, doing more of the things that feel right for us, and acting on the feeling, less thinking and more feeling, doing those things that feel good, they feel right, they keep coming up, and do those things. And visualizing and envisioning the people that you see yourself around when you're doing these things, and the people that speak to you, the people that uplift you and motivate you. Be around those people. And when she was talking about this, I started to realize who came to mind. And I started to think, how can I reach out to them? Because some of the things that I want to do have to do with mental health, have to do with coaching, have to do with speaking on stage, have to do with the number of things that I told you guys about here. And I said, how can I reach out to this person? Like, this is a friend of mine that I've had for years. And one of those friends that you talk to in passing, like you don't talk that often, maybe on shared holidays or birthdays, you'd reach out and you're like, okay, yeah, but how do I just reach out with something like this and say, hey, guess what? You came up in my mind and we have to talk. I don't want to weird somebody out. And it wouldn't be weird to them, but it would just be, you know what I mean? Like coming to them with that so much enthusiasm, like, hey, out of the blue, guess what? So I sat with it. And again, I'm talking about feeling, but there I go thinking. But I sat with it and I said, okay, well, let me get through these gigs, and then I'll give her a call on the weekend and we'll go over it. Would you believe, on my way to DJing this prom on Thursday, I got a voice text message from this person. Now, again, I didn't reach out to them. I didn't message them. Nothing. I'm setting up for this event to go to this prom. I'm getting my equipment together. And I look at my phone. I got a notification. It's a voice text message. And I'm like, oh, is this for real? I listened to the voice text message. And it's literally her saying, I came up in her thoughts. And she said she's going through so many transitions. And what she said to me was, this is where I cried. She said to me was, I see what you're doing. I see you on Instagram and I see your post and I see the things that you're doing, and you're doing it. You're doing it. I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it. And I'm so proud of you. And that's where I lost it. That's where I lost it. And I'm just listening. I'm just like, I'm kind of dumbfounded, but I'm like, really? And she's like, I just want to let you know that I'm kind of scared on this new venture that I'm going into, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I want to talk to you about some things, and I'd love to get your input. And this is me, like my phone. I'm literally listening to the voice message. I'm like this. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you for real? And I'm like, yo, I can't call right now. I said, I can't call because I'm in the middle of packing up. I had to get down. It's rush hour traffic. Like, there's no way I can do all this right now. I need to process this. This is crazy. Like, it was crazy. So I got down to the prom. I'm sorry, no. What I did is I got down to the prom. I got in the car. And then as I parked the car into the in the driveway for the prom, I was early. I sent her a voice text message back and said, yo, basically the same thing. The universe is speaking. I said, yo, it's so good to hear from you. Let me tell you what happened. And I just told her, talking to my coach, here's what came up, and you came through. And here's what I'm thinking. And listen, I see you there, and I envision you being part of this. What do you say? I said, I'm so glad we had this moment. I'm so grateful that you reached out to me. I was like, it's crazy to me, but I'm allowing it. Let's link. Let's talk. Boom. I left it at that. I go and do the prom. After the prom, I check my phone. I have like a 3-minute, 3-minute voice test message back from her. And sure enough, we're going to link. We're going to link up. And I'm like, again, it was just one of them things. Damn, I got chills. It's just one of them things where living in my intention, because if I was thinking, I would have never done it. I would have never acted on these things to say, yo, I'm envisioning all the things I want to do. I want to share so many stories. I want to start helping people, whether it's telehealth, which I want to leave my job at the hospital and start doing. I want to start coaching people. I want to just share and support individuals that want to grow because I want to grow. And I want her to be a part of it because her creative mind is really going to help that. And holy shit, yo, if that's not a testament to the things that you can do too, trust me, living intentionally is what it's all about, because the things that bring me joy, I started to process them. I started to feel them. I just started to believe that it can happen. And I'm starting to make it happen. And that was a testament to the fact that the universe was like, you know what? Don't think about it. I'm going to make this happen for you. Follow my lead. Here we go. And that's for real. Like I'm sweating now. Damn. Like, yo, like that's really where it's at. But at the same time, like I said, with the DJing, I'm not even upset. Thanks, Mom. Just chopping it. I'm not even upset at the fact with DJing that I'm like, you know what? I recognize where I am as a DJ. I recognize what it is I'm doing, and I recognize I've afforded myself a position where I can sub my work out. I can provide others an opportunity to work, and it's not the money I'm chasing. It's not the notoriety or the fame or any of that stuff I'm chasing. It's my joy. It's living in my intentions. And that's why number 6 is so freaking important to me. And I can't wait to share more as far as what's going forward. Yes, Disco Darren, please plug that. Plug your show, man. Yeah, Dre, no, that's for everybody. That really is for everybody. Don't think, just feel. I'm truly in my joys. You guys see it. You see Joy. Joy is always in my stream. She's always right by my side there next to Clarence. But number 6 is living intentionally, which brings us, though, after that long-winded discussion, hang on, what you got, Romeo? It can be scary to lose passion for stuff, especially when it's all we've known and or we're good at. That's where leaving your comfort zone to learn and explore new things and grow can help. Finding multiple things that you are passionate about can allow you to find new passions when you lose interest in others. For me, my passions are music, art, design, tech, and helping others. Yes, and if you're willing to know those things and share those things, you will find the people that want to know and share those things as well. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Living intentionally is number 6. Let's get into number 7, showing up for yourself. Another one that's just as important, folks. Check it out.
Show up for yourself. Do you scold yourself when you don't finish everything you set out to do? There will be times where you don't accomplish everything you plan to do. But acknowledging the effort you've given and the amount you have done is important. It's easy to focus on only your faults, but showing yourself kindness and compassion, even in how you talk to yourself, can help override some of the negative mental patterns you may have and help you feel loved and supported.
All right, number 7. I keep turning the mic off. Showing up for yourself is that much more important. And Dre, you can. You definitely can. Showing up for yourself is that important. And again, you're not that hard on yourself. Understanding that you will fall, you will make some mistakes, but allowing yourself to, again, be confident with your failures. Be confident in your failures. The world can't speak to you if you don't even know what you want or need for yourself. Yes. And that's, again, practicing the things that you do in the morning, your mantras, your affirmations, your journaling, anything that it is. Writing those intentions out, having it out there. Folks, Disco Darren in the chat. Barbershop Talks with Disco. Next Thursday, May 19th, Disco Darren does his talk shows on his channel. Make sure you're following Disco Darren. I'll be a guest on there, Barbershop Talk, me and a few other men, which would be so dope. 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central with Disco Darren. Make sure you follow Disco Darren because words will be said. Michelle, I didn't know how to do what I applied to do. I legit just did it. No experience whatsoever. Beautiful thing is my company treats me like it. Yes, Michelle. See? Just do it. I'm not going to say go in there blindly and say, yo, I don't know what I'm doing. No, go in there with the mindset that I'm going to get this. I'm going to somehow figure this out as I go along. And that's with anything. Again, you're going to suck or be a novice when you start at it. But as long as you start, as long as you give it a try, it could be something that you've been interested or curious in, and you may grow to love it. And then let's finish up with number 8, practicing self-care.
Number 8, practice self-care. Do you tend to ignore your needs sometimes? Taking care of your basic needs is an act of love. Even taking a few minutes out of your day to check in and provide yourself with what you need can help you feel a lot better. Whether it's soaking in a hot bath, eating something healthy, or even working out, practicing self-care can go a long way for your mental health and your happiness. Have you practiced any of these types of self-love?
Have you? Have you? So there we have it. So how many of you do practice self-care? How many of you have a thing that only you do? Those of you, again, with kids, how many of you take time away from your kids? I know a lot of us say our kids are our care, or our kids are what brings me joy, or our kids is what I find happiness in that. But how about you? How about you? What are some things that you do to practice self-care? Disco Darren like this. I took up roller skating. I mean, he's much better than I am, but I've taken up roller skating. And there's the guest for Darren's barbershop talk show, myself, Real DJ Yoshi, Cello Music, and Big Al 350. How many of you practice self-care? How many of you take the time to pamper yourselves? How many of you take the time to award yourselves or reward yourselves? Happy Bindi. Dance is your self-care? I love that. My new saying is dance as if no one is watching. You hear that, TikTok? Dance as if no one is watching. Meaning stop putting the dance videos on TikTok. Never mind. Somersault going to the spa. See, there you go. There you go. Pamper yourself or let someone else pamper you. Hell yeah. Going to the spa. Mani-pedi. I believe Indy Bronx said that earlier. Doing the things. Massage. Getting a massage. Stretches. Yoga. Those things are those important to you. So these are the 8 steps in showing up for yourself, practicing self-care, living intentionally, protecting yourself, setting those boundaries. This is how you practice self-love, y'all. This is how you start to make the time for things for yourself. Jojo B, going to the flea market and see music solo, especially now that I can again. I'm an introvert. No. I understand. I can understand how that surprises people, but no, believe it or not, a lot of introverts go to concerts by themselves. And I don't know what it is. I don't know the psychology behind it, but going to concerts by themselves, it's like one of the biggest introverted ways. I noticed my mom would always say I'm her happiness, which makes my heart hurt for her, but motivates me to be my own source of happiness. Yeah, Miss Prestigious, a lot of parents do that. And it's not to their detriment or their fault. It's what they know. They put so much of their effort and so much of their being into their kids that they neglect themselves and really don't know who they are as an individual. They only know what they are as a parent. So yeah, that's tough. Dre, chilling with your cat? Well, yes, we take care of Clarence. Chilling with the cat or any pet, definitely. Music and meditation, self-care that I mentioned, and plan to do more with intention. Yes, feel all the feels. I don't want to talk before and after, and I want to hear the artist that I paid for not being terrible. No, that's beautiful. That's living intentionally right there, Jojo B. And you set your boundaries. Listen, we're going to the show. I don't want to hear anything. I want to hear the artist. Talk about it in the car afterwards. Set that intention. That's funny. I feel good after I get a haircut, hit the gym, and just sit down and eat a nice salad. Yeah, see? Everybody has their something. And those things are important, folks. That's how you make the time and take the time for yourselves with those 8 steps. Because again, we own all of our time. We choose what it is we want to do. We choose what it is we want to do. Again, whether it's getting a haircut, going to the gym, going to the spa, eating a salad, tuning into Mental Health Monday, we choose. Driving the kids around, running all these errands, we choose this. This is the power we're giving or taking from ourselves. Just going to bed early, nothing wrong with that. Having a good sleep schedule. Feel that way with getting a haircut, I mentioned, or massage, and no talking. I'm here for the meditation. Yes. That's like the dentist. You go to the dentist and they want to talk to you. Like, you literally have something in my mouth. What are you doing? Massage is a self-care. See, yes. And those are things, again, make sure you take the time, being mindful as you're doing these things, setting the intention to take the time to do these things. It's that important. Things bother me. I don't know why my camera keeps moving. I have to work on that. We own all of our time. How are you choosing to use your time? How are you choosing to step into the things that you want to do ultimately? Because remember, our saying is also here. In any given moment, you have 2 options. Step forward into your growth or step back into your safety. You comfortable in that comfort zone? Or are you ready to grow into the individual you always knew you could be?